Earlier on, my colleague Uche Okoronkwo spoke with UNECA's acting executive secretary, Antonio Pedro. She started by asking him whether there were any actual concrete outcomes from the weekend's event.
I believe that the summit provided an important opportunity for the different parties concerned to discuss and debate on what would be possible. There were some, of course, concrete outcomes. For example, the announcement that Zambia would be able to have access to $6.3 billion as part of the deal that was struck to restructure the deal. And interesting thing that this includes the debt from China, which, as you know, has become one important financier of Africa's development and has very important share of single country debts. So this is important because it sends a very important signal to the rest of the countries, that indebted countries, that there is possibility to achieve to restructure these debts. We also are welcomed the announcement by the World Bank that would incorporate climate contingencies in the debt restructuring processes. Again, as I indicated earlier, this is important because it provides that very, very important space that our member states are looking for to ensure that they can continue to respect their obligations, but at the same time address the negative impacts of climate action.
Right.
The IMF, through the voice of its respective managing director, has indicated that the $100 billion target or effort to try and rechannel the SDRs from richer countries that don't need them to the more vulnerable countries had been reached. So this is an important development. At least one target has been met. Of course, we know that only $60 billion or so has already been rechanneled, but we received assurances that the remaining $40 billion are also going to in the process of being rechanneled.
One thing that came out or that critics talked about after this Paris summit is the fact that we weren't getting so many timelines it tied to a lot of these resolutions. What is your take on that? And one interesting outcome at this summit was that most countries did agree that multilateral development banks must be reformed going forward. What was the timetable for that? What do these timelines look like?
Well, I would say that, the reform should happen yesterday. It means it's urgent. We are looking at the evolutionary roadmap for the World Bank in particular as an opportunity for countries to have more resources. We are looking at a calendar that hopefully will land at the Marrakesh fall meetings of the World Bank and IMF. And between now and then, of course, we have the forthcoming meeting in July in Cape Verde in South, where the African caucus will be meeting again to articulate or refine Africa's voice and asks on this, especially now after Paris, the Paris summit. And we will be able to go there with a stronger, clear position.